Greetings folks! Today we are taking a look at the two main types of braking systems on recumbent tadpole trikes, disc brakes and drum brakes. Let's see if we can figure out which system might be best for you. Let's go! This is a Sturmey Archer drum brake. An external arm, when activated by the brake lever, pushes internally housed brake pads together, stopping the wheel and the trike. Now the great thing about drum brakes is that the majority of the functional parts are stored in that rather large hub you're looking at. This tends to keep everything clean, and the design makes for an almost maintenance-free braking system that can go tens of thousands of miles before needing some kind of attention. In fact, the main positives of drum brakes are the lack of maintenance required and supposedly better aerodynamics. The negatives are that drum brakes can be a bit heavier than disc brakes, and they can also fade a bit on long, steep descents. We'll address that later. This is an Avid BB7 disc brake. They come in mechanical and hydraulic versions. This version happens to be mechanical. Disc brakes are lauded as the king of braking systems and are often sold as an upgrade both on trikes and on road bikes. When you pull the brake handle, the large rotor gets squeezed between two small brake pads, which slows the wheel and the trike. The big positive of disc brakes is that they are extremely good at, well, braking. They're also a bit lighter than drum brakes. The negatives of disc brakes are that they can be extremely finicky, often noisy, and if you do a lot of descending, you can eat through those little brake pads pretty quickly. I don't want to dig too deeply into the differences between hydraulic and mechanical disc brakes, as that isn't the focus of this video, but I've used both and found both to be just as effective at braking, and each has had its fair share of issues with noise and brake pad wear. Disc brakes are supposed to be a little bit less aerodynamic than drum brakes, but in this shot showing a frontal area of both, maybe there's a little more hub area showing on the disc brakes, but when you consider the tiny bit of extra weight you get with the drum brakes, I'm gonna call that a wash. So is one braking system better than the other? They're both great braking systems. If your goal is to ride while spending as little time as possible messing with your brakes, I'd opt for the drums. I did experience some fading while using drums on a Greenspeed GT3, but this was only on some very extreme descending, and it's not like the brakes stopped working or anything. I could just feel that as they heated up, they were braking a little less effectively. As soon as I stopped descending and they cooled off, they were right back to normal. If you're looking for the absolute best possible braking, especially if you do a lot of descending and you're trying to keep your trike as light as possible, and you don't mind having to occasionally fiddle with brake adjustments and regularly change out brake pads, disc brakes are the brakes for you. Of course, everything I've stated here is just my opinion based on my experience, so if you've had different experiences with disc or drum brakes, let me know in the comment section below. Oh, and whether you use drum brakes or disc brakes, just be glad you're not using those horrible rim brakes. Just kidding, all my road bikes have rim brakes. Now get outside and ride! Thanks for hanging around folks, and on behalf of myself, my brother, and my lucky Pepsi hat, we will see you next time. Bye-bye.